Good morning friends, welcome back in our science online class. Today we are going to learn about some terrestrial habitats. So there are three kinds of terrestrial habitats. First one desert, second one mountain and third one forest. So today we will see all these habitats briefly, okay, with the help of some diagrams of animals and plants. So first habitat, that is desert habitat. So what is desert, student? Actually the desert means waterless area of land. Waterless area of land with sand and waterless area of land with covered sand and having little or no vegetation. Now vegetation means what here, student? Vegetation means you can consider plants. Okay. So desert is the area where we can see the sand, just sand we can see, okay, and very less vegetation or sometimes no vegetation, just dry land we can see. So such area is called desert. Okay, so what type of plants, what type of animals are there? Okay, so second thing, examples. So what kinds of animals we can see? So animals like desert snake, desert rat, okay, then camel. These are the common examples of animals which can see in desert area. Now second thing, the two dominant factors like scarcity of water and high temperature. Due to the scarcity of water and high temperature, the area becomes sandy, okay, and there is a shortage of, or there is a very scarcity of water. Now animals, those animals are living in this particular area, they have to face this problem like shortage of water and high temperature. So naturally these animals develop some special characteristics in their body to adjust with the surrounding. So now today we are going to learn about these adaptations or the special features, okay, of the animals which enable them to live in the particular habitats. So first we can see the picture. Can you see this? This is the picture, okay. As you can see here, the desert rats and desert snakes live in burrows during daytime or hot daytime. Now why these two animals are living in burrows? Actually during the daytime sand becomes too hot, okay, and due to that this animal cannot be survive on the surface of land where the surface is too much hot, and that is why these animals go under the ground, okay, they make the burrows and they go under the ground and stay there during daytime when the sand is too hot, and at night when sand becomes cool, so they come outside in search of their food or prey. Okay students, now another example, the desert animals such as rats, snakes pass out very small amount of urine. See, as we know, in desert area water is very less, and whatever these animals are there, okay, like rat, snakes, camel, these animals conserve water in their body. First thing, and second thing, they lose very less water through their body. That is why these animals are able to survive in that area or the habitat. Okay, so see here, the desert animals such as rats and snakes pass out very small amount of urine, and and hence they conserve water in their body, and this way they store or save the water in their body. Okay student, now we will go to the next habitat. This is about the plant, this is about the animals, and now we are going to see about the plants. Adaptations in desert plants. Before the starting of adaptations of desert plant, one question I will ask to you. Which is the most common desert plant? So cactus is the most common desert plant which we can see abundant or more in desert area. So those plants in desert area, these plants are also modified, and that is why they are able to live in that particular area. So first point about the desert plant. Okay, we will consider the cactus plant. So first point about the desert plant, the leaves in desert plants are either absent or very small or present in the form of spines. Spines means thorn. Whatever the plants are there, those are in desert. So especially these plants have very small leaves, or sometimes the leaves are absent, or sometimes the leaves are in the form of spines, means thorn. And why this type of adaptation is there, or why the plants have this type of leaves? Because to reduce the loss of water. Whatever the leaves are there, those are spines or thorn-like or very small, they reduce the loss of water, and this way the plant, they reduce the loss of water through the transpiration with the help of leaves. Okay, see here, this help in reducing the loss of water from the leaves through transpiration, and that is why the leaves are very small. If the leaves are very small, so the transpiration rate will be reduced and plant loses very less water. Okay. Second thing, in most of the plants, see here, those plants are in our area. So in these plants, the photosynthesis process done by leaves. Okay, but in desert plants, leaves are very small or sometimes absent or like thorn. So in desert plants, the photosynthesis process usually carried out by their stems, and stems mostly green in color. See here, those plants are in desert, the photosynthesis is carried out by their green stems, because leaves are absent, sometimes small or sometimes like thorn. That is why this process is done by green stems. Okay students, to make photosynthesis is process to make their own food. Next one, the stems. The stems of desert plants are modified for storing water. This is very important adaptation or special feature of desert plants. The stems are modified. The stems of desert plants are modified for storing water, and also these stems are covered with the wax or the wax coating or wax layer, that is called a cuticle, and this cuticle prevents the loss of water from it. Okay, and this way the stem store water in it for long time. Okay, last point of the desert plants. Most of the desert plants have long root system which go deep under the ground in search of water or to absorb the water and minerals. So these are the main specific adaptations. Okay, so you can prepare these all adaptations, and example already I told you. You can consider the example cactus. Okay, I will show you the picture. So this is an example of cactus plant is adapted to live in desert. because these plants have some adaptations. Which type of adaptations? See here, these are the spine-like structure which we can call the modified leaves to reduce the loss of water. Then second, this is the green stem, okay, which store the water and carry out the photosynthesis process. And last one, these are the long, deep underground roots which absorbs the water. Now next, mountain region. Now this is the next habitat. Mountain regions. See students, adaptation in plants to mountain habitats. So mountain means what? High hilly area. Okay, high hilly area is called mountain. So especially the mountain area or the mountain habitat is very cold habitat. Sometimes the cold habitat during winter season it becomes too cold, and sometimes the snow also falls. And due to the falling of snow, whatever the water present on the land, that water freezes or becomes ice, and it is unavailable to plants to get the water. Now, how then plants survive in such conditions? So they have to modify some characteristics in their body parts to adjust with the surrounding. So we will see now one point. Now first one, the adaptation in plants to mountain habitats. There is a lot of rain in mountain region. Already I have told you. There is a lot of rain in mountain region. The second thing, in the mountain habitat it is very cold during winter and snowfall may also occur. Okay, and due to the snowfall, sometimes the branches of trees or plants, chances are there to break down also. So this way the plants have to adjust with the habitat or the surrounding. Now we see what all the adaptations are there. The rain and snow may damage the mountains, trees and plants. On the high mountain it is also more windy and the rate of evaporation is more in windy places, due to which the plant loses more water. Okay, so we'll see now the adaptations of plants. First we'll see the adaptations in plants. You see here one picture is there, needle like leaves of some mountain trees. Whatever the mountain trees are there, so that trees have needle like leaves to reduce the rate of transpiration. And second thing, to reduce the water loss also. Okay. Now next thing, whatever the mountain plants are there, all mountain plants have cone shaped trees. Okay, like triangular, like this shape is there, you can see. Okay, so cone shaped trees are there, and these cone shaped trees are usually these mountain trees, mountain habitats are usually cone shaped, having sloping branches. This is very important. Whatever the plants are there, cone shaped plants having the sloping branches. So these are the sloping branches, downwards. Their position of branches are downward, and these sloping branches of the mountain trees makes the rain, water and snow to slide off easily. This structure is cone shaped to slide off the snow as well as rainwater and protect the branches of the trees and leaves from damaging. Okay students, so two characteristics you can keep in mind. Whatever the plants are there, those are on mountains, they have the cone shaped trees. Okay, and this structure helps them to slide off the rainwater as well as snow. Okay, and prevents from damaging the branches. And second point, the small little like leaves reduce the loss of water. Okay, now this is about the plant. Now we'll see the about animals. Now, which type of animals we can see in mountain habitats? So, especially the yak, goat, okay, snow leopard. These animals we can see in mountain habitats. So, what type of adaptations are there? Can you see this animal? So, this is the picture of a yak. Okay. So, yak is what? So, yak is a kind of large ox covered with silky hair. This is the one kind of ox, okay, but shape is larger and its body is covered with silky hair. Now, why this animal has silky hair? So see here, yak lives on mountains where it is very cold. So this animal is specially found on mountains where the temperature is very low, and in that temperature these animals survive easily because the reason is yaks have long hair on its body. Yaks is plural than yaks. Okay, yaks have long hair on their body to protect from the cold. Okay, so this is the one adaptation. Now next, adaptations in snow leopard. Do you know snow leopard? Yes. So this is the picture about the snow leopard. You see here, the snow leopard has thick fur on its body, and this thick fur protects from the extreme cold climate. Okay, this thick fur protects its body from extreme cold condition. Next point, the snow leopard has thick layer of fat under its skin for insulation to protect it from cold. And insulation means keep its body warm in cold climate. Okay. And last point, the snow leopard has big feet which makes him walk easily on the surface on smooth or soft surface. Okay, students. So next